and would eat bad. Like I said, the day that his last stroke that occurred,
Chris,
went to play poker, he ate all his Chinese food, raised his sodium levels, his blood pressure went crazy.
Everyone is born, we all born, and we're all gonna die.
Nice.
So in between, no, listen. So in between, we live.
Yeah.
My diabetes, my number's been high, so they just wanted me to. He's like, Dad, you can't do drink champs. I said, yo, and what it does is it starts deteriorating your body.
Peace, this is King Messiah. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're affecting social change through social media, and your help is greatly appreciated. Hey, and besides, it's free. Today, we're talking about Irv Gotti. First and foremost, we want to say rest in peace to Irv Gotti, who passed away in February of 2025. Irv Gotti, who's known as the founder, CEO of Murder Inc. Records. It was a very prominent record label in the early 2000s. It launched the careers of Ashanti, of Ja Rule, and so much more. He had his hands in so many other artists. But today we want to talk about the importance of monitoring your blood sugar, the importance of health from a real stroke certified nurse.
My diabetes, my number's been high, so they just wanted me to. He's like, Dad, you can't do drink champs. I said, yo, and what it does is it starts deteriorating your body. So.
And you good? Like you got it under control?
No.
Oh wow.
When my number gets too high, shot. I told you, if you eat something and it tastes good, it's better.
Even too much fruit is sugar, depending on the level of diabetes.
This is why my kids get mad, because I'm telling them, like, yo, I'm going to live.
Right.
I'm like, yo, I'm going to die and not enjoy life. I'm going to enjoy life.
And see, diabetes is so tricky because it can truly cause you to get your leg amputated. Diabetes can cause you to faint. It can cause so many different extreme health emergencies where you just want to make sure you are regulating the blood sugar that's in your body. So his children.
Again, Irv was a Titan, my brother, one of those ones, and the world is going to be different with him because of the things he was going to do that he won't.
Yep. Chris, when was your brother diagnosed with diabetes?
Wow. So he's 54. I believe he was diagnosed when he was in his 40s.
Yeah.
Late 40s. But Irv doesn't go to the doctor. So that's why he's so late being diagnosed, right? And then when he finally did go get a real physical and a checkup, he's like, you're diabetic. And he didn't believe it. You know, my dad.
Type 1, Chris?
Irv was type 1. Irv was type 1. And then it started with type 2, developed into type 1. So my dad was diabetic. He passed at 86. And when we talk about this topic, why it's so dear and sensitive for me, is I watched him suffer the last 3 years of his life. So it's about quality of life. When Dame is talking about being able to be with his kids, it's about quality of life and the way you actually can stay here and keep doing that. We all have to go at one point in time. We just really want to go on our terms. That's how I look at it. And Irv, sadly enough, he did go on his terms. He just didn't believe it, and he was like, I'm going to go the way basically I wanted. He ate a bunch of Chinese food while playing poker and had a massive hemorrhagic stroke, which is bleeding on the brain. And then we talk diabetes, and I know Dame is saying diabetes. Diabetes is not what kills you. It's always something else. It's what diabetes does to the body that actually takes your life. Like it broke down his body where it was blockage and going to his brain. It created the strokes, but it's all stems from the diabetic issues that comes from diabetes. You know, it may have liver failure, kidney failure, and these are the things that actually consume or take your life. But I don't know anyone that's, and I know we do have a doctor.
The calcium, you know, rough, and you have to watch those strokes because it can clog up the arteries.
Yes.
You got to be taking pills. So I take those pills and I get those examinations. It's just when you, I guess my approach on diabetes, I would say might be lucky because I was diagnosed when I was 15, and for 2 or 3 months, I was thirsty. Or like 2 months, I lost a lot of weight. I thought I had AIDS. So I thought it was something that I wouldn't be able to beat. And what I told God was, if you give me another chance, I'm gonna live life to the fullest.
Mm.
So when I finally went to the doctor and they told me I had diabetes, I actually was happy. Like, oh, it's just diabetes. I could take a needle and feel better. So for me, I thought I had so much strength and faith in God that He reversed whatever was and said, I'll just give you diabetes. I'll take diabetes over the other thing.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, Dr. Dewan from Vanderbilt, thank you for joining us. Talk about what you've heard so far and what messages you'd like to send loud and clear to folks about lifestyle and about diabetes and about stroke.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. It's good to be with you. First, Chris, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Of course, I didn't know Irv, but he's obviously touched so many people. So I'm sorry for your loss and your family. Look, diabetes is a problem. It's a big problem here in the United States, and it's not going away. We know that there are a lot of risk factors for strokes. Certainly, diabetes is among them. There are other risk factors for strokes. You
Sure.
talk about things like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, or hypertension, even age. We know the older that we get, the more likely we are to suffer from strokes. And so it's not as if it's just diabetes, although that is certainly a very, very important factor. And certainly having good control of one's diabetes, we know that dramatically decreases the risk of stroke.
Is it possible to turn it around?
Yeah.
Cure?
Great question.
no,
Yeah.
Dr. Dash
you can't
says
turn it
no.
around.
All right, doctor.
Yeah, there's not an easy fix, but briefly, diabetes type 1 is where the body has difficulty producing insulin. Insulin is something that our body creates to decrease the blood sugar levels, whereas type 2 diabetes is an insensitivity or a decreased sensitivity to those insulin levels. The majority of people with diabetes in this country have type 2 diabetes, although there are many that have type 1, as we've heard here just in the last 10 minutes or so.
Sure.
And we believe that the reason that diabetes contributes to stroke is because the high blood sugar levels in the vessels damage the lining of the vessels, or blood vessels that pump the blood to and from the heart and to the other parts of our body. When that damage happens, clots can form. Clots are you can think of little particles or rocks in the blood, and once those rocks, those particles get sent out to other parts, they can clog up other parts of the brain or the heart or other end organs and decrease blood flow to those areas. And it sounds like in Irv's case, the end organ being the brain,
Sure.
and that's what a stroke is.
So Dame Dash has said he changed his whole lifestyle because he wants to live, and has been very disciplined about it. Irv was less disciplined about it.
Yes.
Because Irv didn't want to give up stuff he loved. How would you recommend people balance that? How do they balance?
And let me go further
go
with
ahead.
that, Mark.
Yeah, go ahead.
Irv, not only he had a chef that was cooking the best of food, like when Dave said eat right, he had that. He had someone training him, personal trainer, working him out every day. Didn't miss a day. The problem was he never changed or thinking he could eat other things after he left those things. So he had everything you could do the right way, but then he would cheat, what I call cheating. He's cheating himself. You can't cheat yourself, and would eat bad. Like I said, the day that his last stroke that occurred, I went to play poker. He ate all his Chinese food, raised his sodium levels, his blood pressure went crazy.
Chris, he could have ate it, right? But while he was eating, he should be administrating, like he should be. What happens is, and because I was diabetic when I was young, the innovations make diabetes a lot easier for me. Yep. So I have a Dexcom right? It tells me what my blood sugar is every second. And I'm on my phone all day because it's on the phone, which is great. So right now my blood sugar is at 83, which is exactly what it should be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
if I were to eat now, I just came from a restaurant where I ate bread and I had carbs. But because I calculated it, when I put carbs in my body, see, type 1 is when you eat, everyone that eats, no matter what, their blood sugar goes up. It's because of the carbs.
Right.
But insulin produces, the pancreas produces insulin that brings your blood sugar back down. A type 1, that's your it's cooked. Your
It's
pancreas
not
makes
happening.
no insulin. So every time you put a carb in your body, you have to factor it and put insulin in to bring it down. Right?
Now let me ask you about that.
Type 2.
Let me ask one question, Dame. That what you have on your phone and the doctor as well. I'm sorry. Is that accessible for everybody? Because I
Everybody.
just heard he was denied.
No, listen. This is why I do the Diabetes Network. So, for example, because people from we just don't be looking. The information is just not in our face.
Stand up, and I'm gonna continue right where Dana started. Okay. And I'm gonna start by saying something that I tell my kids all the time. I tell them, everyone is born, we all born, and we're all gonna die. Nice. So in between, no, listen. So in between, we live.
Yes.
To the fullest.
Yes.
So that's what I think. So we live. I'm going to expand on the love by saying I love everybody in this.
So there you have it. I mean, it's good to see the cultures talking about health and wellness. You know, we hate to see this topic come up only when someone transitions. We want to think we can have these type of discussions and have these type of conversations just on a regular basis, and making this a part of popular culture, making health a part of trending topics and trending things to be in tune with, a whole network dedicated to just health and wellness and, overall healing. So I want to say, as a stroke certified nurse, we see it every day, different walks of life, different races, different ages. Everyone falls victim to this thing we call strokes. And there's different type of strokes. So a stroke is something that's very sneaky. You got the brain bleed, the hemorrhagic, and then you have just the acute ischemic, lack of oxygen going to different blood vessels in the brain, and lack of oxygen going to different parts of the heart. That's only a recipe for disaster. So like we mentioned in previous videos, keeping the blood pressure regulated, keeping your blood sugars regulated. It is just like a vehicle. If your vehicle gets too hot, it shuts off. It cannot drive. If your body overheats, if your blood sugar gets too high, if your blood pressure gets too high, there are functions of your body that will shut down. So we want to be conscious. We want to be aware of what we put in our body. We want to be aware of any conditions that we have. And we want to make sure that we are living a life that is wholesome, that is healthy, and that is on point. This is King Messiah. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It's free. We're affecting social change through social media, and your help is greatly appreciated. Let's continue to build this community. Thank you.